Checking in on America's most dysfunctional team, the Dallas Cowboys get humiliated by the Houston Texans in the battle for Texas. Joe Mixon runs all over the Cowboys' depleted defense for 150 yards from scrimmage for 3 touchdowns on the evening. You're seeing that the Cowboys are slowly coming untethered, and yet again, it's under a national audience to witness it. Now, the final margin in this game was 34-10, and that makes the 6th consecutive blowout at home for the Dallas Cowboys, dating back to the wild card round of last year between the Green Bay Packers, and that's their 6th consecutive game where they've trailed by at least 20 plus points. That is completely embarrassing for a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who is dubbed America's team. You're also seeing that the average score in these home games for the Dallas Cowboys at at&t Stadium is 37-14. It's not even close. Now, if you think about when the Saints were good, they actually have scored more touchdowns in that one game than the Dallas Cowboys have during this entire season. And that's, again, the reflection of Jerry Jones. And I thought a perfect metaphor for this game was when, before kickoff even started, they were attempting to open the roof because it was actually a nice night in Arlington. They wanted to have the roof open, have a little ventilation. It was going to be a nice time on Monday Night Football on ESPN. But in preparation for that, while opening the roof, big pieces of metal debris fell from the roof, cascading onto the field, and thankfully nobody was hurt, firstly. But I think that represents how this season has gone for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you have a very beautiful structure that is dubbed Jerry World, and it's a sight to see for many people who not just love football but who love sports. I mean, it is hosting many World Cup games in 2026. But it's a fantastic stadium, billion-dollar playpen, but it has several defects, which we talked about last week, where they have the giant window that cascades a giant glare in the late afternoon games, and now you're seeing this metal debris fall from above, and it's kind of signifying the collapse of the Dallas Cowboys, especially in recent years under Jerry Jones's tenure. Now, we know injuries have wiped out this team. Dak Prescott is done for the year. They're missing Deron Bland. They've been missing Tank Lawrence. Micah Parsons missed some time. Brandon Cooks has been out of the lineup. And now in this game against the Texans, they lost Hall of Fame offensive lineman Zach Martin, and then they lost Pro Bowler Tyler Smith in the process. So they become more decimated. And at this point, the Cowboys are going to be completely unwatchable. I talked about how the Thanksgiving slate is going to be a complete snooze fest. The game that's in the late afternoon window is Cowboys-Giants, 2 of the worst teams in the league. And frankly, again, I say, take a nap. Eat the biggest Thanksgiving dinner that you can and just take a fat nap. Hope that the evening game between the Dolphins and Packers is somewhat good. Going to be a complete snooze fest and a night to spend time with your family this Thanksgiving, at least, not watch football. Now, something I have to ask is, why do Cowboys fans keep falling for Jerry's scam tactics? I mean, since 1995, his team hasn't won a championship since Super Bowl 30. It's been almost 30 seasons. And you've seen promise after promise that we're going to be all in, we're going to make some adjustments. But even since their Super Bowl run in 1995, they haven't even returned to the NFC Championship game. Yet again, I've been on this platform talking about how Jerry Jones has been an unserious owner, not prioritizing winning football, only talking about headlines and what the Cowboys have been up to recently. And you're seeing that on the field, but why do the fans, the Dallas Cowboys, keep buying into this? You're seeing fans run into every home game at like it's Black Friday and you're finding the greatest deal at your department store, but it's a scam. I mean, you're paying hundreds of dollars for a bad product. I mean, this is not a winning product. They haven't been good for a long time. I mean, yes, they have good performances here and there, and they've won 12 games in 3 consecutive years coming into this season, but where's the playoff success? You mean, you deem yourselves one of the best franchises of all time. Well, recently you haven't. since you have won your last Super Bowl, New England has usurped you as the best franchise in the league. They won 6 Super Bowls in that time span. I mean, Tom Brady alone has dominated this league, and that's Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. But the franchise, I think, would at least hit on a Super Bowl at some point, right? Jerry Jones has turned the Cowboys into a once proud franchise into America's laughingstock. I mean, it's pathetic, the performances you're seeing at the biggest stages in playoff games. They get routed time in and time out. They come up with new ways to lose football games, and it's all about Jerry having control. I've said that he's unserious. He's prioritized clicks, headlines, money, everything else other than winning. Now he's finally getting exposed for it, and what you're seeing is eventually the fans for Dallas are going to turn on him, and he's going to reach a point of delusion where unless he kicks the bucket, I don't think that there's any point where he relinquishes control of this franchise. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to run this team into the ground for as long as he lives, and maybe Stephen Jones can fix it, but I don't see a way out for Dallas for many years to come with the contracts that they have, the issues that they have across the board on this roster. It's a bad roster and a bad job managing this roster. And yet again, Jerry Jones, the unserious owner that is the owner, GM, CEO of America's most dysfunctional team.